Hello and welcome to As I Am's Restorative Yoga. My name is Alana Zabel. What you'll need today is at least one yoga block or something firm that you can have about 8 inches above the floor, and you can rest on that. Foam or the bamboo is great. A bolster, if you have one. If you don't, you can use firm pillows, or even the back piece of a couch has really firm foam. So that's really helpful to have. So have a bolster, our block, and a strap or a towel so that you can use that to go a little deeper into your stretching. You know, this is more restorative. So we're going to stay seated. It's Friday, just bringing the energy down. And we're going to hold poses a little bit longer so that we can release tension, get into the connective tissue, and really start creating space within the body. So start at the front of your mat, bring your feet so that they're comfortably crossed. If it's natural for you to come into half lotus, take your right heel into the left calf crease, and you can sit in this position. Otherwise, just crossing your ankles in front, turning the back of your wrists onto your knees, lifting your spine up nice and tall so the crown of your head is lifting up towards the ceiling, and close your eyes. Start feeling the breath coming in through your nose, filling your chest, and out the nose, creating that little whispering sound. And again, breathing in, just holding it at the top, and exhaling, letting the body relax. Let's just do that a few more times, allowing the mind to be comfortable, not racing in the future or running from the past, but just to be here right now with how you feel, with the energy moving through your body, strengthening your mental commitment to be here, to express who you are in the most truthful and beautiful way. Interlace the fingers behind your lower back, rolling your shoulders back behind your ears, kind of peeling the chest open. Press your knuckles down towards the floor. You'll feel your wrists and your upper arms squeezing towards each other. Now, rooting down into the sit bones and lifting your chest up towards your chin. Hold it here and breathe. Sometimes the simplest movements create the most expansion and start to create this shift in the foundation of our posture, and opening up areas that we may have felt a little closed off or tense. Gently tilt your head to the right, so the right ear is pressing towards your right shoulder. If you want a little bit more, slide your interlaced fingers over onto your right hip crease and tilt the head a little more. Now you're getting into not only the deltoid, but also the side of the neck and your rotator. Breathe into what you feel. Hopefully your phones are turned off and you're in a quiet space where you can really settle in to your breath and movements. Let your chin roll forward. Bring the hands behind if you were taking that deeper variation, and tilt your head to your left. So left ear towards your left shoulder. At any point, if that feels okay to go further, sliding the interlaced fingers over onto your left hip crease and tilting even deeper into that stretch. Good. Allow your head to roll back to the center. Release your hands. Bring your palms to your chest. Close your eyes and set an intention for this movement, this practice, the energy that you emit with this practice. Instead of it just being energy that's dissipated out, you can almost visualize that like just throwing money out the window, right? You're spending that energy specifically for something that you would like to receive. Beautiful. All right, so if you are facing me in the middle of your mat, let's turn the long way. I'm just going to move the bowl. Let's come onto your hands and your knees into a tabletop position. Okay, so your fingers are spread underneath your shoulders. Press the shoulders back towards your hips as you look up, pulling your chest open. And exhale, round as you look towards your navel. And again, do that a few more times. And exhale as you round. One more time. Exhale as you round. And this time, just take little circles through your spine, right? So the ribs push out to the right and then over to the left, kind of circling through the head, the neck, the spine, the pelvis, the hips. And then reverse directions. It's like a little dance with the breath and the movement. In any yoga, physical yoga practice, we're cultivating energy in the spine. Come back to the center. From here, open your knees the width of your mat as your big toes will touch. And we're going to sit back in child's pose. Hands will extend forward. This one, we're not going to use the bolster just yet. If you'd like to place your forehead on top of your block, you can do that. Otherwise, just allowing the head to relax towards the floor. And closing your eyes and breathing. Letting this day go, letting everything up until this point release. I believe that we innately know what memory and sensation that we do record and contain within our being, and which we can let go of. So just trust the process. Come slowly back up onto all fours. Cross your ankles and have a seat. If that's too much on your knees, just swing your feet to the side, placing your feet flat on the floor, parallel and hip width apart. Hold under your knees and lift the chest all the way up. Similar movement, what you were just doing on all fours in that tabletop. Exhale as you round. And again, inhale. And exhale. This time, take your right hand and cross it over on top of your left as you look over your left shoulder. Squeeze your middle to support your spine as you're stretching your spine. And breathe. Good, and switch sides. Take your right hand under the right thigh, left hand on top of the right hand, and looking over your right shoulder as you twist through your spine. Come back up into all fours. I'm going to face you, but stay at the front of your mat. We're going to take double pigeon. I'm going to take your left heel into your right calf crease and then scoot back a little bit. So you're creating a diamond shape from your knees all the way to the center of your back. Place the hands at the front of your knees. And if that's too much, or if your knees lifting up, right, you're tighter in the hips, just cross your feet comfortably so that you're relaxed in the thighs, hips, and knees. And holding the front of your knees, again, pull your chest forward and round as you exhale. One more time. And round. Good, now keeping that length from the low back to your crown, I want you to hinge forward. Walk your hands or your forearms down to the floor. Maybe make a pillow out of your hands and relax down, or you can also use your block here and rest your forehead on top of that block, like that. So I want you to relax into this pose. This will be a long hold. We're starting to wake up the low back, the hips and the legs. And just close your eyes. I'd like you to feel that you're at the edge of the stretch, so it's not painful, but you know you're helping to expand the boundaries of the body just a little bit and get some fresh energy and circulation into those areas that were maybe a little bit tighter. And when we're tighter, there isn't as much fluidity. Right? So when we open up those spaces, you can almost imagine water trickling into those spaces and saturating your being with a more vibrant source of your light. This is how yoga is so healing on the physical, the mental, and spiritual levels. The more that we practice and understand, the easier it is to surrender to the process. Staying folded over, and you can bring the block with you if you're using one. Walk your hands to your left so that you have one hand on each side of your left knee, and allow your head to relax towards your knee. Feel your right hip pressing down as you surrender to the left. And breathe. Some of the exercises that we will do today will be dynamic, meaning we're just going to move in and out of them, and others will be longer holds. In those longer holds, we have an opportunity to strengthen the mind, to be still, to be non-reactive, to be present. Bring your left hand to the floor, to your left. As you press into your left hand, open through your chest, reaching your right arm all the way up. And as you exhale, reach the right arm over your head as you bend your left elbow according to your flexibility. I'm a little bit more on the flexible side, so I can even bring my elbow down to the floor. Otherwise, just stay on the hand and look for a nice clean stretch through both sides of your waist. And reaching both arms back up to the center, reach through your fingertips, bend your elbows like you're pulling something down with resistance as your chest is lifting up, back bending your upper spine. Exhale. Good. Bring the right elbow towards the waist on the right side and switch over to the other side. One more time. Great. All right, let's come back to the center and let's switch sides. Okay, so just crossing the right heel into your left calf crease. Again, think of scooting back, right? You want to create that diamond shape, or the feet are crossed in front. Hold the front of your knees. Lift your chest up. Another nice tip is keeping your feet flexed. Exhale as you round. That keeps your knees engaged and a little bit safer as we're stretching into the knees, thighs, and hips. A couple more times. One more time. Hinge forward. Walk your hands, maybe forearms down, maybe your head is resting on a block, or you're just hanging here. Breathing in and out. There's nowhere to go. Sometimes I think of the missed moments of life where there's this divine timing and things are happening and falling into place, and then we humans can rush through things or not step into moments that are welcoming us. And we can miss opportunities, and there's nothing to cry about or be remorseful of. It's simply a reminder for us to settle into nature's time. When we feel that need to move in a very reactive way, to take a breath and see what happens if we just settle a little deeper. There's a common saying in yoga that when you want to shift out of a pose is when the pose begins. And it's very true. It's very true. When your mind starts to pull you away, just take a moment, breathe into where you're at, commit to this practice of focusing your mind, surrendering tension from the body, and creating a free-flowing vessel that's in tune with nature. As you stay folded over, again, walk yourself over to your right this time, so you have one elbow on each side of the right knee and folding into that stretch with the left hip pressing down. Breathing in and out. And keeping your right hand on the floor to your right, pressing into your right hand, rotating your shoulders and torso open. Reach the left arm high and then over your head. Close your eyes. Breathe. Letting the breath flow, releasing resistance or tension in the physical body. Reach the arms all the way back up, stretching and looking up towards the fingertips again. Bend your elbows, cactus arms, lifting the chest high. And this time I want you to rotate to your left and then twisting to your right. So we started with a little bit of a back bend because that's the cleanest way to twist, right? Because as you twist, it will create the straight length that we're ultimately looking for. But if we start a twist in a rounded position, it's actually pretty dangerous on the vertebra on the spine. Great, come back to the center, bring your hands down. Let's take your block. I want you to set it out to your left. So the low or the medium level of the block. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can have the medium level. Take your left heel. So you want to space it out so that your left heel can relax on the block. And then maybe scoot a little bit open to your right so you're parallel in the hips, you feel a nice stretch in the inner thigh. And as you reach out to your left, so I like to sometimes grab the block, gives me a little leverage to pull my chest towards the toes, so creating that side length. Then reach the right arm over your head. If you're a little tighter, you can hook your left foot with a strap and use your right hand to pull you. Otherwise, just stay here. Find the sensation. We all feel it in different places, right? Typically in the same areas, side, inner thigh, but different sensations. We're all different. We have different activities and habits that create tension in different areas. Staying here, reach your right arm up and bend your right elbow a little bit. Just open and take 4 slow, big shoulder circles. Externally rotating, meaning you're reaching to the back first and then wrapping around. Inhale as you open. Exhale as you come around. And one more time. Beautiful. Stay there, walk your hands back to the center. And again, maybe the forearms come down, or maybe a little pillow with your hands. Try to sink into this stretch. Just 5 breaths, in and out. Breathing in the chest. The chest expands so that we can keep the abdomen strong as we're moving through the spine. Some people teach belly breathing in yoga. Personally, I breathe into my chest. Whatever works for you. Walk yourself all the way back up. We're going to move that block straight out in front of you, same exact height for Janu Shirshasana with an elevated position. If you're a little tighter, or maybe your back tends to round in forward folds, you can do it without the block or just take it down a level. Okay? Now stretch the arms all the way up. Try to square off your hips, activate your feet, find space, inhale. And reaching forward so you create length from the low back. Hook the foot, hold the foot, and fold. Oh, it's such a good stretch. We're all just instruments. Different instruments, and when the wind and spirit blows through, we just sound and look a little different, but it's the same. Another beautiful thing about this yogic process, it's much like your phone, right? I think that much of our technology is mirrored after our own mind. But when we turn the phone off and we delete files that we don't need, or files that are too large or consuming too much of our memory, we function better. We connect to the ultimate Wi-Fi better, right? And that's what we're seeking to do, is to clear our mind and connect to our higher source. Let's take one more breath here. Pull your chest to your toes, flatten and lengthen, lift all the way back up. Beautiful. Take your left foot, bring it behind you so that your left knee will come to the arch of your right foot, and then the heel will stay on the floor behind you. Lift your spine tall. Twist to your right, so your right hand will come to the outside of your left thigh. Chest high. Here's that back bend before we twist, and then turn and look over your right shoulder. Push through the front of the left hip. It's a great stretch for your hip flexor. The shoulder blades are driving down. Even holding this restorative variation of a twist is still detoxifying, right? We're still wringing out the middle. Keep your right hand on the floor behind you. If you would like to take a deeper variation, reach your left arm up over your head, maybe even pushing your hips forward, right? Really stretching out through the front of the hip. Just one more breath here. Beautiful. And slowly come on down, and let's switch sides. So turning back to the front, your left foot will come forward. We're going to move the block over to your right. Okay, and place your heel on top of the block, again out to the side, or even move your upper body, or sorry, your lower body away from that stretch. Okay, flex through the heels, reaching to your right, holding the foot or the block, left arm high. Couple breaths here, finding that length, rooting your left hip down, the chest pulling over to the right, and then reaching your left arm over your head. Now this side feels different for me than the other side. Right? I tend to be a little tighter in my right hip. I was a very expressive dancer in college and overkicked the left leg, which just made the hamstring longer and ultimately turned the hips a little bit. I see that in classes when I teach. Most everyone has one side that's tighter than the other, so it's normal. Let's take those big shoulder circles, right? Keep a little mild bend in the elbow, opening and stretching. Breath moves with you. Inhale as you expand. Exhale as you contract. And last time, this one lifts you all the way up. And exhale, counter stretch to the other side. And lift back up. Beautiful. Let's take the block straight out in front of you. So this is a variation of Janu Shirshasana. Janu meaning head, Shira, forgive me, Janu meaning knee, Shira meaning head. Inhale, reach the arms high, and exhale, head to knee pose. One thing to be mindful of here, if you're hypermobile, especially in your knees, make sure that the back of the knee isn't pressing down towards the floor, but it is supported with the tendons behind your knee. Otherwise, I would do this without the block. So this is a little bit of a longer hold. Close your eyes. Tap into the sensation in the body. Tap into the stillness. That energetic surrender of the human nature that wants to run and seek and consume. But right now, we are content, we are at peace. We have everything that we need. You'll also notice when you feel a stretch, you can either resist against it and we kind of hold the tension, but we still feel like we're stretching up until that point, or you can let go into it. And that's what we want to do in this kind of a class, in this kind of a practice. One more breath here. And pull your chest forward. Keep the length in your spine. Rise back up to seated. Let's take your right foot behind you. So again, your right knee will come to the arch of your left foot. Your back heel and inner ankle are down on the floor. Here's your back bend. Twist to your left. Right hand holds the outside of the left thigh as you twist the shoulders, looking over the left shoulder. Push through the front of the right hip, lengthening through the hip flexor, and maybe even reaching the right arm over your head or lifting your hips into a deeper variation. Great. Slowly come back down. I just realized I forgot one thing on this side. So bringing your right foot back onto that block and then hanging forward. Right? It's the Libra in me, always wanting to be balanced. Just stay here. 10 slow breaths. Listening from within yourself. last deep, full breath in and out. Walk yourself back up to seated. Take your right foot off of that block. We're going to come back to the block when we come down to the floor, so you can set that to the side. Let's open both of your feet wide on your mat. Okay. So until you feel a stretch in the hips, you can still keep the spine up nice and tall. Walk your hands forward. Okay. So if you're a little tighter, I'm going to give you a couple restorative options here. If you're a little more flexible, right, you can come all the way down, right, but a little bit tighter, use your pillows or your block out in front of you. By placing the block underneath the bolster, setting up your pillows, your foam, and then folding in, turning your head to one side. And I'll tell you when you're halfway so we can turn the head to the other side for an equal stretch on your neck. Okay, so find the edge. We feel a stretch in the inner thigh. If you feel the length through the low back, you can activate the feet, but relax the legs. Close your eyes. Invest these moments and invest your attention into yourself. If your head is turned to one side, please lift your head and turn it to the other side. Again, for an equal stretch on your neck. Beautiful. Lift your head back to the center. If it's turned to the side, place your hands on the floor. I want you to keep this setup with this incline, whether it's pillows or, again, the back of the couch, or it is an actual bolster. Take your left foot, bring it over to your right. And bending your knees behind you, so you look like a 50s pinup doll, right? Or pinup poster. Take the center of your hips right into the center of your bolster. Your knees are a little bit in front of your hips, not behind. Take your right hand and hold the top of your bolster so that you can lift your spine. Here's that back bend before a twist. And turning to the left, slowly laying down, turning your palms upward. And this is called a deer twist. So I'm going to have you stay in that position. If it's too much on your neck to turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees, you can also just lay on your side with your head facing the same direction as your knees. To add a little extra stretch on this variation, take your left arm over your head and just feel the bolster or the pillows absorbing any tension. We'll stay here for 5 more breaths. Just relaxing into the twist. Good. And walk the hands back to the floor. That felt so nice. And bring both hands over to your right, turning towards the back, and switch sides. Your knees then come over to your left. Your left hand will hold the top, lengthen, find the back bend, rolling out, and find your twist. Palms will turn upward. I want you to stay there. Just another 8 deep breaths. I just want to make sure that you can hear me okay. And I have a little mic on, so if I'm all the way in the pose, I don't want to disconnect from you. So you stay in the pose. I'm going to guide you through the breath, through the relaxation, the letting go. Creating space for new opportunities, for healing. Great. Pressing into your hands, come all the way back up. Okay. And we're going to change our position. Take your pillows again over to the side. All we're going to need right now is your block. Have a seat and roll all the way down nice and slow onto your back. Good. And hug your knees into your chest. Place your right hand on the right knee and your left hand on your left knee and make externally rotating circles, right? So you're going in opposite directions and then forward, then the knees together and then in. We want to follow the ball and socket joint in the hips, but keeping your lower back pressing down into your mat at all times. Last time. Good. Draw the left knee in, straighten your right leg out on the floor, and roll the ankle. Take a strap or a towel, or just hold the back of your leg and straightening out the leg, flexing through the heel. Beautiful. Draw the bottom knee in and cross the top foot over the front, taking a figure 4 stretch. Right? And reaching through, hold underneath the thigh. Again, the feet stay flexed, protecting the knees. And breathe into your hips, into your lower back. Even 5 to 10 minutes of calm, silent, deep stretching gives you so much more than 5 to 10 minutes on social media, right? It's just, they're different, but making sure that we balance these energies, turning the attention back into yourself. Recharging, tapping into our natural cleansing and detoxification process. Good, and release. And switch sides. Drawing the right knee to your chest, straighten the left leg out on the floor. Couple breaths here. Rolling the ankle and reverse. And holding with a strap or towel or holding behind the leg, straightening up. One more breath. Let's take the figure 4 stretch, bending your right knee, cross it over your left thigh, holding under the left thigh with both hands. Again, keep the lower back on the mat as you pull the thigh in. Connect to the breathing so the energy is fluid. And just one more deep breath. Fill the chest and let it go. Beautiful. Place both of your feet flat down on the floor and let's hold onto your block. Okay, as you lift your hips, I want you to slide the block underneath your lower back. Coming into a supported bridge pose. This might be enough today, right? We're lengthening through the front of your legs, adding a little inversion here, right? So it's like it takes a little pressure off our inner organs, right? And the lower back. Highly recommend doing this daily if you tend to have lower back issues, or if you get tight in the hips, maybe you're a runner or you ride your bike or play tennis or golf. Now, if you want a little more, you can straighten your legs all the way out. That increases that stretch right where I'm talking, in the hip flexor. And then just close your eyes. So either feet are on the floor, the legs are straight, your eyes are closed. Let it go. This is one of the tightest and most tense areas in all humans, right? You'll even notice how challenging it is to fully let the legs relax. We don't realize that we're tense until we realize we're tense, right? So, seeing if you can relax more. And walk your feet back to the floor if they're extending out, pushing into your feet. Lift your hips all the way up, slide the block out from underneath and slowly rolling down to the floor. Good. And let's straighten your legs all the way out, opening your arms out to the sides with the palms turning upward. Take a deep, full breath in, fill your chest. Out the mouth, let the breath go. A couple more times like that. Deep, full inhales, filling the chest. Hold the breath at the top. And out the mouth, let everything go. For a few moments, I want you to stay laying comfortably. If you'd like to add pillows under your knees to create even more relaxation and restoration, feel free to get yourself comfortable, or a blanket for warmth, a pillow under your head. Wherever you are, close your eyes and we'll stay here for a couple minutes. Feeling that meditative practice. In Savasana. In Savasana, it is the ultimate release of control. letting go of control of the physical body. You're letting go of control of the mind, or controlling your thoughts, or adding or extracting in our mind, but just being a witness without judgment to what you're feeling, whatever thoughts arise in your mind. And beautifully, those thoughts pass away unless we cling to them. So I invite you to let them go. Allow the breath also to be natural and unforced. Stay here for a little longer or a lot longer. I hope you let go a bit of anything that you no longer need to carry. You relaxed your mind and unified the mind, body, and spirit. Thank you for practicing with me today. Have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. Namaste.